Welcome to our special event tonight. I'm so excited to be here with you. Happy Sunday. We're going to wait a minute or two to get everybody in, and here's your chance. The song is breaking through. Are you ready? Hello, welcome. Drop down high when you are here so I can see you. I'm excited to get started with you today. We are starting in just a few minutes, as we have I popped on a few minutes early so that we can get everything flowing by 7:30 today. Is this your breakthrough? Hello. Can you hear the song? I want to congratulate Monique for saying yes to herself, yes to Fear to Freedom, yes to moving forward in her life. I'm so excited for her and the other women that have booked their calls and that are coming through to say yes to them, where they realize life is now. Life is right now, and we do not need to wait any longer. Are you ready to cross over the line and leave everything else behind? Welcome. It is 7:30, so we are going to get started. How is everybody doing this Sunday night? I can hardly believe it's Sunday already. This week went incredibly fast and beautifully at the same time. So I'm excited to be here. This is something that I have put together for you to see and lean into your resistance and move forward. I thought that there was no better way to do this. First of all, drop down how many days that you've participated in the 4-day mini course. Did you do all 4 days? Did you hit the bonus class yesterday? Tell me how many days have you participated in? And if you've participated in some days, what has been shifting for you? What have you noticed? I've heard people say things have opened up. They feel better. They're sleeping better. They feel that they're lighter. They have more things. I have to see who's talking to me. More things possible for them. They feel. Hello. So, who didn't get to watch, you still have they're still up if you would like to watch. So I wanted to start today. Yay, good for you. 3+ days at the bonus. Awesome. So I thought today, we've talked a lot about resistance, moving through resistance, looking at some of the challenges that you have and how do you lean in and change what you're currently doing. And the only way to get different results is to do things differently, is to make a different decision, to not think about, not make a decision from inside the box. And to do that, I wanted to share with you tonight a beautiful collection of women that have come together graciously from the bottom of their hearts to share with you how they have moved through resistance, what that looks like for them, what that meant from them. And you will get to meet one of my coaches. Her name is Charlotte. You have met my other coach, Angelica, if you booked a call. If you haven't, you heard me speaking of her all week. And Charlotte put together this beautiful interview for you to really feel into what our sisterhood is about, to feel into what is the type of work we do here through Fear to Freedom, how these women felt the resistance, moved through it anyway, and what that looks like for them, how they shifted around and changed things around. So you're in for a beautiful experience tonight. Stay open, listen, lean in. I mean, really just lean into your computer and pour your hearts into these women. These women volunteered their time. These women wanted to share with you their stories because they have been where you've been. And so through all of this, without further ado, let me get you connected with them. Not that button. Who's excited? Drop down excited if you are ready to hear from these beautiful women that have or that are here volunteering and sharing their experience with you. Who's excited? Drop down excited if you are. I'm totally excited. So let me see. Share screen. Yay! Here we go. This one. Okay. Can you guys see? Can you guys see the girls?
Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. I am so excited that you are here right now. We are going to have such a great conversation. I have the pleasure of being here today with some of the sisterhood. And what I love about this group of women is that we are all on this journey at different points in time. Some of us have been on this journey with Brenda for 3 years. Some have been on this journey for 8 weeks. And so it's a really great group that I have for you today to have a conversation. I'm Charlotte, and I am one of your Be Kiss coaches. I have been working with Brenda for about 3.5 years. I am part of the support team that supports you on your journey through Fear to Freedom. I also run a Reiki energy healing meditation at least twice a month. And I'm also a hairstylist, and I have a family, and I'm 46 years old. So, or about to be 46, I should say. And so that's me in a nutshell. And I'm going to pass it off to Kelly and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I am from currently in Arizona. I am 58. I have been in property management for 25, 26 years, and I am in the process of moving back to the East Coast.
Thank you. Woohoo, East Coast girls. Oh, I'm in Florida. I forgot to say that. Christine, tell us about you.
Hi, I am 35 years old. I live on a farm in the mountains in New Hampshire, and we basically live in the middle of nowhere. It's awesome. Um, I have two young boys, and me and my husband are really happy. And I'm one of the people that have only been here for 8 weeks, and I've made massive changes in my life
That's amazing. It's amazing how fast this program can move, right? Yeah,
immediately.
immediately. Alexis, hello, how are you?
Good. Hi, I'm Alexis. I live in Florida also. I'm 37. I'm a support operations trainer, and I've been with Brenda for going on a year this month, actually.
Woo-hoo. And Isabel, thanks for coming today.
Yes. Hi, I'm Isabel. We were joking about this before, but I'm 61, and knowing who we are now, I'm a nonprofit executive director, and knowing that we are here to do all of this, I'm so excited. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you guys for saying yes to, coming on and speaking your truth to the women who are watching. And speaking about speaking your truth, and the women who are watching, once you said yes, you joined a sisterhood and you gained a whole bunch of women that you probably have never met before. And so I have to ask, like, what is it like being part of a sisterhood and meeting women that you've never met before? What is that connection for you? Christine, let's start with you.
Well, like I said, I live in the middle of nowhere and there's not a lot of friends up here. So this is the human interaction I was craving. And I absolutely feel so accepted and so welcomed and so warmth just from everyone. We want to help each other. We want to hear your problems. We want to help you with your problems. We want to be able to feel safe expressing our own problems. And that was what I just was craving, was being able to talk to different people about different things on any different day And you don't get that along with the respect and like also like honoring each other's feelings. And this was a safe place where I felt like people honored each other and in a sacred, we weren't we like our feelings are sacred here, and that's what I felt like. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I will always feel like this is just something you don't get every day. And that was pretty magical. Even amongst other groups of I've been in,
Mm-hmm.
like this one, it's you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I couldn't agree more. Alexis, how's it been for you having a sisterhood?
Honestly, it's been scary and intimidating at first. For this to be so new, especially people who want to support my growth and want to support, um, my healing. It's not something I was used to. So there was a lot of resistance at first because it's scary. But I do love the connection, seeing other people connect. As Christine said, able to share a problem and it's met with solution. It's met with options. It's not met with that same vibration of the problem. It's met with raised vibration to get you to come up so that you can see the solution and the answer within you. So again, at first it was scary and intimidating, but I actually like it. It's what we need.
Yes, yes. I would like to say, in a way, it's become a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that you have a community to reach out to without judgment, and to give yourself a voice. For me, it's become a tool, and you're all saying yes, so I know it's become one for you as well. Isabel, how about for you? What is having the sisterhood like?
I'd like to compare it to another program that I was in. Uh, we had 525 members of our group. Okay. So we all came on, and there was, 17 pages of Zooms of people that I could potentially meet, narrowing it down to who would be in what we used to do is break up into pods. So we had 6 people in a pod. Um, Knowing that anonymity was there. They were people who wanted to be my friends on Facebook, but I knew nothing about them. In
Mm,
this, we all know who each other are. We know
mhm,
our stories from as we all drop into the lives. And the other part that's very different about this in the sisterhood, having all of these people who check in on me and say, how are you doing? Or I find out about somebody's dog being sick, and we check in on each other. We're constantly
mhm,
doing these things. But the other part about it is that Brenda knows who we are. She knows our stories. If we ran into her in a supermarket, she would know who we were. We would
yeah.
say, "Hey, Brenda, what are you doing here?" But we're not anonymous. We are not. She is not some person way out there that has a Facebook page or an Instagram page that is speaking into the void. She is
Mhm,
speaking to us, and that's
yeah.
the thing that I do appreciate with the sisterhood is that we truly are a part of that. And there are people that she might reach out to who need more help than others. But what happens is we all pile on.
Yeah, for sure. And so the community becomes even stronger for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Kelly, talk to me about the sisterhood for you.
Um, like Alexis, it was overwhelming at first. I don't open up very easily. I don't trust people. So I've always had that wall and that barrier. And this has given me the opportunity to learn new skills and tools to open up, and that it is okay to tell my story, how I saw it and how I felt about it or feel about it. It gave that opportunity, which was nice because not knowing in the beginning these women, and to be able to not instantly, but as time went on, to be able to tell how my story is. So overcoming that overwhelmness of like, oh my God, what are they going to think, what are they going to feel about
Mhm,
me, you know
mhm, mhm,
so
mhm,
it was very nice to overcome that is not what happened. They They're very supportive, and, like everybody said, it's just, if something is going on, you have people that are checking in with you, or seeing how you're doing. And I think the other thing I found too is, there's a lot of women that are like-minded like me. So, which, I'm so sorry, ladies.
Oh, I was like waiting for it. I'm like, oh,
over your head. But I'm like, they are just as crazy as I am. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Charlotte, get with it. Come on. But it is. It's like-minded people. Like we were saying, okay, all of us are having stones. We have all our crystals, we know this, So it is really, it is really great to have really like-minded women that you can really trust.
Yeah.
For who and what's happened to you in your life, and they're not going to judge you. So I think that's probably the best thing that has come out for me.
You really, you sort of gave my answer. And for me, the sisterhood was me realizing that I'm not the only one going through challenges, and that I have commonality with other women, that I wasn't finding just by doing therapy work. That's one-on-one. There's nobody else. I have no idea that there's another woman going through the same challenge as I am. And it made me feel like the lone wolf. And this sisterhood really brought that community to me. And not just that I'm not the only one going through challenges, but we can all overcome those challenges. And the sisterhood really brought that to me too, like watching everybody on their journey at different points. And, I feel like many of us in this conversation have had some really ugly cries on our journey in Fear to Freedom. And yet in some way, it's been helpful for other sisters to experience that with us. And the support and the love that I feel when I'm having one of those challenging moments in class, and just knowing that everybody else in class with me is like energetically holding me, and just, there's nothing wrong in having that moment. And I am surrounded by support and love and care. And for the sisterhood, you all have given that to me, individually as well as collectively. I appreciate this conversation. A couple of you mentioned that you've done other programs. Who's done other programs? Okay, Isabel, Alexis, Christine. So, Alexis, tell me, how is Fear to Freedom different? Like, what makes Fear to Freedom different? Are you, is there any reason for you to have any other program at this point? I mean.
I could say for sure one thing is the closeness. And as Isabel said, Brenda's here. She's not just something that, in a pool of 1,000 other people. I've been in many groups like that. So yeah, we may have a Facebook group that you can create a post or whatever, but it's not as intimate as the WhatsApp group, or, you may not want to post certain things on there. So for me, it is having that hands-on experience, and being seen. Like, see me. Don't just take my money and then, give me something to go on the computer and do on my own. But see me, work with me, help me. And that for me is the bigger difference that I've definitely seen.
Love that. Yes. We all want to be seen. We all want to, show our authentic selves. And I really feel like, Fear to Freedom allows us to really step into who we truly are. And it's a wonderful journey to get there. Yeah. Isabel, how about for you? How is this different from other groups? I know that you touched on it a little bit, being part of, a Zoom call with 17 pages, and, Brenda knowing who we are. Those are all factors in this for sure. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. I think that the difference too is that the person that I worked with knew me a little bit, but not really, and was more, I feel like, making a performance as opposed to where Brenda, and we know this because we've been in programs with her. Well, she'll start and she'll go, okay, how's everybody doing? And then somebody is down in the dumps, somebody is frustrated, somebody's anxious about a new job. And all of a sudden she goes, okay, I had something planned, but I'm going to do something different. She pulls out the toolbox and pulls out some new tools. And next thing you know, she's like, everybody stand up. And you're like, what did I do? And this is Brenda, because she's real and because you're going with truly the flow. But I feel like the energy, the vibe, and we have been there on days when everybody is just like, yeah, Brenda. Yeah, Brenda. Yeah, Brenda. Okay, what? Oh, okay. She's talking to me. Oh, crap. She's talking to me. I have to answer a question. And then she's like, nope. Hello. Wake up, everybody. Right?
All right. Yes. I can't stop laughing because this is like truth on top of truth on top of truth. Yes.
It's your day. And you're like, oh my God, I'm having such a terrible day. And I'm listening to all these freaking happy people. I just want to scream. So yes, right, Alexis. And what you end up doing is the energy at the end of the class is transformed, and we're all like, either we're all even, or we're feeling better. We're definitely feeling better. I don't think I've ever left feeling bad. I might have been in deep in thought about something that I did that particular day. But there are days, I mean, because this is probably, other than daily prayer or journaling or whatever I'm doing in the morning, this is probably the most consistent is the Monday night that I've done for the last 3 years. I can tell you that much, because I'll look and I'll go, oh no, nothing's on Monday nights. And my husband will come in and he's like, well, I'm like,
nope, this is my class.
I'm on Zoom right now, which is what happened when I was just on. And it's, I don't even know when people ask me, what am I doing on Monday nights? I'm like, is it healing? Is it therapy? Is it training? Is it coaching? What am I? It's my time. Leave me alone.
Yes. Right.
And the cat is next to me now, but everybody comes in. My son will come in. Everybody wants to be in on this energy. So what I'm saying is that sisterhood and different programs, this happens here. And Brenda has a lot to do that. And Brenda will say that she's not as outgoing and energetic. And we all have to put on that face, but we're all real here. And that's the part I love. And I mean, my hands just tingled when I said that. My Reiki hand. We are real. And even when we're having a crappy day, we've been there and we held somebody accountable, and we're all there. Oh man, we're all there for that person, and guaranteed that other person will be getting conversation from all of us afterwards. So
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. There was something that you said that really resonated for me, and that was that Brenda's able to pivot. I have not worked with another coach. I just knew that I needed to say yes to Brenda. I did not expect my journey with her to unfold into becoming one of her coaches and a healer. But here I am. And although I've taken many classes, as a hairstylist, I've taken many classes. And, when there's a group of people who are stuck and are confused, not every educator, not every coach knows how to pivot into giving what that class needs in that moment. And she does that so beautifully. And yes, there's so many times where we're asked to stand up and we're like, what are we standing up for? But we all do it. And we get our energy shifted and we walk away. And I have to say, yes, there are days even I as a coach come into class and I'm like, oh man, I got some baggage coming in with me. And I always leave, like you said, back into neutral or even a higher vibration. I have to say, I probably walk away with a higher vibration 9 times out of 10. And that's my experience, in the group. So that was what really resonated for me. And I appreciate you sharing that viewpoint for sure. Christine, how about you? Well, how does this differ from other classes for you?
I wrote something down earlier that was like a little thought. And I'm like, what have I learned about this? And it's like, this program walks the walk that all other programs talk about, but never take.
Oh, I just felt that everywhere.
That's the difference. And I was raised in a new age home. My auntie did acupuncture on me at the age of 3 and up. I've known Reiki before. I knew what my birthday was because they told me you're a Scorpio, and I was a Scorpio. They're like, then I knew my birthday. Like I knew I was a water rabbit. I knew. Everybody told me everything. Like, but I never got it. It's like all this information was getting shoved, but no one ever made me walk the walk. Brenda makes you walk the walk, and you want to.
Every time you say that, I have like
Yeah,
this whole body reaction to it.
I
Like,
had a
yeah,
reaction writing it. It was kind of like, this is like, I was channeling a little
power.
bit of my poetic, and I'm just like, in this program, you walk the walk. Everybody else talks about walking, but they don't take it. And Brenda gets up and walks every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
she does.
in reality.
That's,
So it's
yeah,
like
she physically walks every day.
yeah,
but-
she holds herself accountable, and that's like also it's just all meaningful and symbolic, and
Oh.
if there was a slogan for this program, that's
You just created it for us.
She could
You were
totally
just
have
like,
it. There you go.
Spirit of Freedom walks the walk. Like
Yep.
that's it
Yep.
right there. That is so powerful. And I don't think there's anything else that could be said in this conversation. So we encourage you to come walk the walk with us. Say yes to Fear to Freedom. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to the sisterhood and walk the walk. That is good stuff right there.
So I'm just curious as to what landed for you. What did you guys hear through that? Because I was not part of this interview. I was not part of this process. These girls were open to speak authentically, as you can see for them. They have spoken authentically about this, about their experience. And this was just a small snippet. I have some more to share with you from them. But what are you hearing for yourself? What are you hearing about Fear to Freedom that maybe you didn't know, or perhaps that you were curious about? What is your thoughts about the sisterhood and the authenticity that these women are sharing? Drop it in the chat. I would love to hear. I would love to hear. What did you hear from these women? What part of this conversation got you excited, or what did you notice about this conversation that brought like up curiosity or an excited feeling, or like, ooh, wow, or anything like that? Just drop in the chat. Let me read. Let me see. And they have some more to share with you. And they have some more really deep, authentic truths. Thank you for sharing. They have, in this portion of the conversation, they go into some really deep, authentic truths where you get to see the real deal of everything, of their truest experiences, of their experience, of being part of Fear to Freedom, and what it was like to move in and make the decision, and how did they, how did they get here, right? Because they all started out in a place like you. They all started out in a place of either, watching a free class that I did, or taking a free seminar and the mini course, and they had some great results, and they applied to Fear to Freedom, or they booked their call with Angelica. I suggest you go do that right now. Her spots are almost full. So callwithangelica.com. Go book your call. They all started in a place of curiosity, a place of wanting more in their life. And for them to share here is just amazing. So stay tuned, because you have more to hear from these amazing women. They are going to share their rawest, truest, most authentic selves with you right now about their experience of where they were. How did they how did they say yes? How did they move through the resistance? What resistance came up after they said yes? And what transformations they have gone through. So stay tuned in, lean in, listen with your open heart, pour into these women. If you like what they're saying, comment. They don't ask you to comment. I'm asking you to comment. If you like what they're saying, or if you can relate, write down what you can relate to. Let them hear from you. They have taken time out of their day, out of their life, to share, to help impact you in a positive way. So here's to experiencing some more goodness, some more authenticity about these women, the sisterhood, the fear to freedom. So let me go ahead, start there.
Where were you before you started Fear of Freedom? What did life look like for you? What did you look like to yourself? I know when I started Fear to Freedom, I was a hot mess. We had gone into lockdown for COVID. My kids were home. I was out and essentially out of work as a hairstylist. And I just felt like the walls were crashing in on me. And then I found Fear to Freedom, and my world and my possibilities have exploded by doing it. And so that's my perspective. So I'd love to hear where each of you were before you found Fear to Freedom. Isabel, why don't you start?
How did I know she was going to call on me? I would say because I'm the year 2 person, that I've been doing this as long as you have, actually.
Yeah.
A little bit less time, but starting during pandemic, I said yes, or right as everything closed down. And at that point, obviously overwhelmed, but in life in general, not really understanding what it would be like to have these tools that we have now. Because I did meditation, I did yoga, I did those kinds of things, but intermittently, I did not make it a part of my regular practice each day. And now, when I look at who I've become as a result of the last few years, and now it's 3 years for me, I'm getting a connection to spirit. I'm feeling tingles. I am hearing the messages that I'm meant to hear. I go to the sunrise every morning. I lied. I go to the sunrise when it's beautiful. Today I was sleeping.
You don't lie. You enjoy them, and you live very close to being able to see the sunrises. And so you go when you are called to go.
Exactly. And seriously, that's what happens is I am awakened and told, it's whispered in my ear, get up, get up. And if you know me, I'm not somebody who will just easily get up, but I throw on my shoes and I go to the beach, get on my bicycle, go down there. And there is so much joy in that self-expression of taking time for me that it changes the whole result of my day and sometimes my week. I share my pictures on social media. So many people say, thank you for doing that. And those are little tiny byproducts of what's happened in the last few years. And I could go on for days, but everybody else has a story.
I love that your story and my story are completely different. So if you're meeting me for the first time, I feel like it's an important piece of the puzzle for you to know that when I came to Brenda, I was not meditating. I was not doing affirmations. I really thought meditation was like, and I was like, what the heckity heck is that? Like, that's not going to work for me. And so Fear to Freedom has opened all of those doors for me. And I find that the tools that I have learned, meditation, affirmation, have really helped guide me through some challenges in these last years, and new tools that I know moving forward I'm going to take with me into any challenge that I have. And really that gift of like self again, like you said, like Fear to Freedom brought you a gift of taking care of you. And I can say that it did the same for me. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And I love how this program is able to fit somebody, you know, like you who's already experienced, and somebody like me who was completely inexperienced. So it's a very diversified program. Alexis, tell me your thoughts. Where were you before starting Fear to Freedom?
Bound by a whole bunch of rules. So extremely lost, bound by societal rules, not even my own rules, and looking for more rules to follow, honestly, if I'd be honest.
Yeah.
So I did look for the meditation, the crystals, or whatever, but again, based off rules, how other people say use it, how other people say do it. And I was just super lost, disconnected from me, seeking that external savior, that external guidance, and all of that. And one of the major things that this program has helped me with is taking accountability for myself and recognizing the rules, questioning the rules, noticing, are they even mine? Different things like that. But yeah, definitely. I felt robotic, I could say, before the program.
That's amazing. What a transformation for you, especially to notice like if it's your rule or if it's somebody else's rule and, is the rule that you have serving you or is it not serving you? Is it ready to break up with that rule and maybe create our own new rules? So I love this gift that you have received by doing Fear to Freedom and the transformative work that we do as a group. Thank you for sharing, truly. Christine, where were you? Tell us.
So before I ever found Fear to Freedom in the program, I had been sick for such a long time. I went through just a transformation physically. And I was I'd been in physical therapy for 2 years and I'm just like, okay, what now? And I just realized I was on an emotional roller coaster from all that, and I didn't know at the time, who am I now? I know who I used to be before I was sick. Who am I now after being sick? Who am I now after I'm been physically healed? What do I do now? And through just the first quarter of the first year, I have already made leaps and bounds by discovering I'm not bound by the same rules of who I used to be. I'm in a completely different life, in a completely different body with completely different opportunities and perspectives. I now know the strength of a person's soul is more important than the strength in like your arms. And I have pride in different ways of looking from different perspectives. And this gave me the opportunity to have more confidence no matter how I'm feeling that day, whether I feel like $1,000,000 or if I feel a little tired and weak, doesn't matter. I'm at peace with myself now. And everyone in my family could tell you, my children are like, Mommy, you're so happy all the time. And my husband's like, you've grown so much, and I can just see how much calmer you feel. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be okay with the new me. And I have found self-acceptance. And I've only been through the first quarter.
That's what I was about to say when you finished speaking. I was going to say that this is also a truly special call because we have people on the call in very different points on our journey in the program. And so for Christine, you're newer to the program. And Kelly would then be after. And then Alexis, and then Isabel and myself. So I love that we have all been through the program at various times, or we're currently at different spots in the program, and yet we're each gaining so much from Fear to Freedom. Even for Christine, who is in her second 8 weeks of Fear to Freedom, right? You're in your second 8 weeks, or you?
Yeah, we're about to step into the next quarter.
You're about to step into the next quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can be that quickly that we all receive change for ourselves. Thank you for sharing, truly. Kelly, tell us, where were you at before Fear to Freedom?
I was self-discovering who I was after moving 1,200 miles, leaving a horrendous relationship, I guess you can call it, or not.
It was a relationship.
It was not anything good. Trying to discover who I was. Had no clue at that point. I had always been a caregiver, mother, parents, just everybody as a caregiver, and, totally lost who I was as a person, what I wanted, what made me happy or even creative. So there was a lot that I needed to figure out. And, moving here to Arizona was the perfect opportunity for me to heal. And I ended up joining Brenda, which was a little unusual because that's not my norm. If anybody knows me, I usually do not take any of them classes in any way, shape, or form. And I did. I don't even know why. Something told me, just gut wise, take the class. And excuse me. And then when it came that the first night, we had to get on video. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, no, I'm not doing this. But I did. I can't even tell you why. I don't know. I'm glad I did. I am 6 months in, and I have made some really great connections, and I have found my voice. I have found who I am, and I'm still discovering. One thing I've learned is it's okay for self-care, and that it's not selfish, and that, it is okay to take care of myself. And in the process of all this, it gave me the ability to stand on my own and listen to my intuition. And I have accepted another position, and I am moving across the other side of the country. So I'm heading back to the East Coast. And I probably would not have done that before. So this has just given me the courage to be me, and that it's okay.
I love that. Yeah. Yes.
And it's
yes.
okay.
Yes, it's okay. Exactly. We all get to be who we are meant to be without the rules, without somebody else telling us who it should be, who we should be, without self-doubting ourselves. And I'm going to even bring in, whether or not we're worthy, right? How many of us came to Brenda like wondering if we were worth it? Yeah, totally, right? And it sounds like we each have had, like, how many of us came, with some resistance to saying yes? Right? So I want to know, Christine, how did you get over that resistance? How did you go from, whoa, I don't know if I'm even worthy of this, to realizing, hey, I am worthy and I need to say yes to this program. So what was that for you?
It was more of a push from my family knowing, like, honestly, it was my husband. He's like, you deserve this. I had a cheerleader, and I'm like, are you sure I should do this? And he's like, Christine, you were in bed for 3.5 years. You deserve it. Like, you deserve it. Just do it. Like, it's fine. Do it. You need it. Because I had gone to schools to help repair, and I was still missing something. And I just knew I needed this to fill this void of, and I knew this was just the way. And it was one teacher that introduced me to Brenda. My old teacher introduced me to my new teacher. And I just felt like that was a sign. And this was this was my path. And I had someone telling me, don't doubt it, just do it. You deserve it. You've been through enough. Go take care of you. Find out who you want to be.
And you're smashing it.
Yeah,
you're smashing it. You're totally smashing it. Your growth has been such a joy to watch, and growth is not easy. Let's be honest. Let's have that conversation, right? Like, growth is challenging, and growth can come with tears and frustration and anger, and I mean, you name it, and it can, that's what growth can look like. But your beauty of coming out the other side is also growth of you, and growth of love for yourself, and growth of your worth. And that's the part that I really love watching and helping everyone coach through. Everyone stepping in and saying, like, hey, I can be who I want to be, and I'm worth it. At what point, and this is going to put you a little bit more on the spot, at what point did you realize even though you had this tremendous support in the background, at what point in saying yes did you realize I am worth this? Like, I'm worth this program. I'm worth doing the work. I'm worth giving it my all. Was that before you started, week 1, week 2? Where in your journey did that happen for you?
If I have to say, it was actually, I got the chance to do the 30-day manifestation course before I started the program, to be fair and honest. So
Yeah.
it was when I did the 30-day manifestation program, I wanted to manifest a certain emotional responses to everyday life. And it came true. I said, I want calm, I want peace, I want to feel safe, I want to feel protected. And that showed me that this process works. This process works so well that I manifested that in 15 days, not 30 days. And so that was the point where, and I hadn't even started the real work yet. So it was the 4-day mini course and all the surprises that came with that. It was the 30-day manifestation course, and it was me being exposed to tiny little tools that really proved this works, because I see immediate change. Others around me see immediate change. So it's real. It's you can learn tools from I don't know how many different therapists, but it didn't hit me. This worked.
Yeah. You
It
connected with it. Yes.
Yes.
Isabel, did you raise your hand? Was that a hand raise?
That was my cat.
Well, my cat is very vocal. She's been in my lap this whole time. So there is something connecting with cat energy at the moment. I love it. But so while you're unmuted, I'm going to ask you, how did you get over the resistance to saying yes to Fear to Freedom? And when did that happen for you? If you can remember, because
No, it's interesting you're asking that, because I was thinking it as Christine was talking. And what happened to me is I had already been in a yoga class where Brenda came in and did Reiki on the class. And that was long before I saw her workshop, but I followed her page. So what happened for me was she was speaking, and what I thought was so amazing was her total authenticity, her total transparency about her personal experiences and the things that she had gone through. And I was sitting there going, no, this is me. And I'm listening to you while you're talking and going, no one's ever going to hear about the crap that I have been through. No one is going, and here, this is me. Okay, I guess I'm making a call. It's like, what did she do? And I know that everybody has their person that they connect with. And I have had mentors in the past, and I have had mentors in the present, and I will have them in the future. What happens is, where does that person resonate for you? And what I had discovered while I was going through this process is I coach other people and never even thought about it, that is what I'm doing. Because I work with families and individuals, and discovered that, yes, I do need a coach to help me get to the next level. Because I'm like, yeah, I got this. I figured it out. No, I just went, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to do this. And the minute that I said yes, I thought I was going to be, we'll call it fixing something in my life that, I needed tweaking with, that I haven't dealt with in 50 years or whatever. And suddenly I realized, no, that's not the whole issue, my dear. You are going to loosen up a lot of the other issues that you have, and this will be freed. And I mean, the fact that I'm sitting here and I seriously have had a crazy day. I have not,
and you look amazing, and your
bless your heart.
Amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. Authenticity. Here I am. I'm telling you that. Otherwise, because I'm always a person who has to be on, I thought, and I haven't brushed my hair. I'm still wearing my pajamas from this morning, and I have no makeup on, okay? And it's been a crazy day. But you know what? This was important to me. And we always talk about being impeccable with your word. And Brenda talks about that all of the time. I said, I don't care what I look like. My presence is here. And that is important to other people to let you know, like if you're on the ledge as to whether I'm going to do this program or I'm not going to do this. It really has made an incredible difference in my life. And believe me, I was just going, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, we could all use an extra person in our corner. And I feel when I said yes to Fear to Freedom, not only did I gain Brenda, but I gained an entire sisterhood as well. I mean, I look at, yes, you were one of my first people in my journey, and you're still in the journey. We're still in the journey together. And you have brought so much joy and blessing into my own life. And I feel that way about every single one of our sisters. I connect with each and every one of us in many different ways. And it's, I think sometimes there's a lot of us that go around feeling lonely or lost, like, I'm not connecting with people don't understand me. And when I said yes to Fear to Freedom, all of a sudden I had a whole group of people that get me, that I can cry with, laugh with, be silly with, mess up my words with, and also speak my truth, which was buried for so long for me, speaking my truth. And I just know that this group of women is, if above anything else at the moment, a super safe space for me. And yes, there could be resistance that shows up when I go to speak, although I think we all know that, speaking for me is not really an issue. Although you would be surprised how much I actually get in my head on some of our calls, like, do the girls really need to hear this? And what I'm learning for myself is yes. The answer is always yes. Somebody on the call always needs to hear what each of us is saying. And so even though that resistance and ego might creep in, I'm just learning to roll with it and say, this is my safe space and I can say whatever needs to be said. Thank you so much, Isabel, for sharing. Kelly, tell me your perspective. How did you overcome resistance to saying yes to Fear to Freedom? Because you said earlier, you don't do this kind of thing.
No. I actually spoke with Angelica for quite a while. And
for those of you who don't know yet, Angelica is another Be Kiss coach. Oh, yeah. And so she's also somebody who supports us along our journeys. And yes, and she's often one of the first phone calls that you have coming into Fear to Freedom and Be Kiss. Yeah.
Yes. And we had very similar stories, from childhood up to, bad choice relationships. So we had a lot in common. And it was at that moment I thought, I am worth this. My kids are grown. I'm single. And, and I thought it's time for me. So I did say yes, after speaking with her and, figured, yeah, I'm definitely worth the investment. But I will say probably 3 months down the road, I had some really high resistance. And I remember messaging Brenda saying, I'm done. See you later. It's been great. And maybe not in them exact words, but it was.
But that's what the feeling was. That's what your feeling was that was coming up, and you're just speaking openly and honestly about it. Yeah, you may not have said those words, but that's exactly how you were feeling.
I did tell her. I said, "No, I'm done. I won't be coming to class anymore. I'm over it." And she said, "Well, I think that deserves a conversation." I'm like, "Sure, whatever." Yeah, And she said, what is going on? And I said, I don't feel connected to anybody. I said, I just don't. And she said, well, how are you coming to class? I go, I'm coming fine. It's not me, it's them. So we had a conversation and she said, I want you to talk to a couple of the other sisters. And, after that, if you still feel like you don't want to, you don't want to come back. So I had a couple of conversations with a couple of the other ladies. It was quite amazing because I did connect with them. And I ended up coming back, and of course, you know, I do a lot of inner reflection when somebody says something. So I did think, you know, decide what Brenda was talking about, and I had to come back and kind of eat a little bit of crow. And I went, yeah, maybe you were right. I'll give it a try. And here I am.
Then here you are.
Yeah, and here
And
I
we're
am.
never going to let you go. I hope you know this. Like, you're never going to be able to leave now.
So I'm like, okay, so here I am.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to the retreat.
And now you're
So-
coming to the retreat, right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the part that also, like, I think it's important to have in this conversation. Your resistance didn't show up until later. And later, it was very hardcore for you. And yeah, sometimes it's really taking that look inward, and it's not always fun. Let's right. So it's really sometimes about taking that look inward and owning our own crap, right? And so kudos to you for taking that look inward and going, okay, maybe it's me, not them. And also for like having that moment and then saying, I'm going to show up, because you gave yourself that gift. You could have easily chosen to still not show up for yourself. And you chose to say, hey, I'm worth it. I'm worth this. I'm worth taking a look inward. I'm worth working out this challenge, this resistance. And I'm so glad that you did. You know, I feel like you're one of those people I could just talk to forever and never run out of conversation. And it's a really beautiful connection that I feel with you. So thank you for sticking around and working through your resistance. Alexis, that leaves you, my love. What tell me about your resistance, how you overcame it.
Ooh. Honestly, I overcame it in the beginning. I'm like Kelly, it came back, but I overcame it in the beginning because I spoke to Doreen. Brenda was like, do you want to talk to one of the sisters? Because my mindset was, is this really even going to work? I mean, you're talking a good game. I hear you. Okay. But is this really going to work? And when she was like, well, do you want to actually talk to someone, you know, who's been through it? I'm like, sure. And when I talked to Doreen, I did already assume it was going to be like a sales pitch type, whatever. Doreen was super authentic, super honest, to the point where she told me about her resistance. And that's what I resonated with. It wasn't oh yeah, come on, it's gonna work, it's lovely. She was like, nah, I didn't want to do it at first. You know, like she was so authentic with me that I'm like, okay, maybe it can work. So I signed up, still, you know, a little nervous about it. But like Kelly, a couple months later, the resistance came back. Mine came back because of the rules, though, and that I didn't recognize it at first because Brenda, you know, did bring up the resistance. We had a phone call, but it was like, no, I'm not sure. I mean, there's timing constraints. There's this. There's my job. There's so many things, and I even stopped coming to a couple classes for a little while. And then I honestly, it was Angelica who reached out. And again, I got that sister connection back, which I didn't recognize I needed because you know, I got this. I'm fine. I can do it on my own. And, you know, no big deal, whatever. But I recognized I did need it. And then hearing her story, just her reaching out. Hey, how you doing? What's up? You know, whatever. It was just that. It wasn't a, hey, come to class or do anything. She reached out to me to ask about me, you know. And for me, that really did touch me. And then I started coming back to the manifestation class when that picked up. And I don't know. It's like I got a second wind of, okay, yeah, I do deserve this. I can work this. We can do it. And, you know, it's just my accountability to me. I signed up for me. I do deserve this. So yeah, it was rocky.
That's okay. And that's okay. We're all going to experience the journey, and it's going to be a roller coaster at some point. It's just, you know, do we, you know, cover in and crouch with fear? Or do we throw our hands up in the air like,
Yes.
And so I love that, like, I feel like we're all like hands up in the air, like the resistance is coming and I'm just gonna, work through it. Whether it's talking to one of the other coaches, talking to Brenda, talking to another sister. I do want to also take the opportunity and say, like, a huge shout out to Doreen, who is also currently going through the coaching program. And so we'll be stepping into a coaching role at some point. And, this is all, even without that, this is all, fantastic connection and learning opportunity for every single one of us. And I love that. I love that there is always a reach out. There's always somebody who's reaching out to the sisters. Hey, where are you? How are you doing? Where are you at? How can I support you? And that happens amongst the coaches and it happens amongst the sisterhood themselves. I know that I've made connections with people and I just do, sidebar check-ins, with them. And I'm sure that that's happening. You're all shaking your head. So I'm sure that that's happening for you as well. Okay. So I want to have a quick conversation as much as possible about the financial component. Like for all of us on the call or in this conversation, I should say, how much did the financial piece play into saying yes? Like really high, so? Yeah, Isabel's like, yeah, overcoming that financial piece was a big part of your, okay. So, let me ask you this question. Well, first of all, I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume. First of all, you all said yes. So the financial component in the end really didn't matter, right? In a way, so to speak, because that the program is working, so to speak, because the program is working. So my question is, how did you factor that in? How did you get to, Christine, go for it.
Okay, so what I did was, how much is a therapy session once a week without insurance? It's $100 plus for a good therapist. Well, I wasn't getting anywhere. So if I add it up, okay, it's about $100 a week to see the therapist or more. So that's like $400 right out of pocket each month. And I'm like, so this way I'm getting, and I know Brenda is not a therapist, but I was just comparing the
Yes,
prices of like,
right.
and this isn't even per hour. That's a therapist per hour once a week. Brenda and you guys are there 24/7. Like when you get to it, you can get to it, but I can call you. Well, therapists that you can call at any moment, that's $300 a week. So if you really think about it, comparing what you get to how many hours of work all of you give us and support, it adds up. And we're actually so I was just like, how much would I charge if I was a therapist and I was doing this once a week for per hour? And that's how I just mathematically was like, I'm actually getting a steal for this. Like, and that's how I logically equalized it for myself. It was if I had to pay for this weekly, it'd be the same amount of money monthly. And I think I actually am getting more because you're not getting Reiki treatments for like on Sundays with you, Charlotte. You're not getting other components with just a therapist. You're not getting a one-on-one. You're not getting a group therapy. It's just you and a therapist. This is so much more, and so much more attention to each individual person and the group. And that's what and if you really add it all up, she could charge more for this, is actually what I end up getting the conclusion of. And that's how I rationalized it. But also, I wanted to do it, but that's how I rationalized it with my ego. I logically convinced
smiling
myself
and laughing about your answer. This was my most greatest resistance in saying yes to Fear to Freedom, was the financial component. I have a family to think about. I have young ones to think about. And so this was really like a big budget conversation. And also, like, this was all money going towards me. Like, how is something going towards me going to benefit the rest of my family? And so like that, and I really didn't understand that part of it. Even though I had already gone through the manifestation with Brenda, I was like, I don't get it. But there was also that calling to just let's do it. You know, my partner and I, we made a commitment to it. We looked at our budget. We realized this is totally doable. Part of our conversation was actually your conversation. Like, this is how much we're paying for therapy every week, which did not work for me. I have said this, and if this is the first time that you're seeing me again, traditional therapy didn't work for me. I would go into my therapist and talk, and leave feeling like crap, to be honest with you. I would be like a ball of tears and wait, what was I supposed to do for the week? What did my therapist say back to me? I was all still congested walking out, and then it would take me days to reset. And so I love that this program works without the talk therapy component. I mean, we all talk about what's coming up for us, but we don't have to sit there for an hour, you know, talking about what all the stuff that's coming up for us in our lives in order to receive healing. And so that's what like clicked for me. And for me, once that clicked, which was literally the first class, which when you join us, it'll be the tree exercise. And it is like one of the best exercises that we can go through. I love that you guys are shaking your head. I love the tree exercise. But like literally I left that class and I went to my wife and I literally was like, this one exercise is worth all the pennies. I mean, the new version of me that walked out from the tree exercise was literally worth all the pennies that we could have put into the program. And I agree. There was that moment where I was like, holy crap. And then the support came, you know, the one-on-one with Brenda, the support from my sisters, the interaction we had as a group in WhatsApp and in texting and whatever other communication was happening. And I was like, yeah, this is way more than what you gain in traditional therapy. For me, this was a game changer. So you know, Alexis, Isabel, Kelly, who else has thoughts on that? Oh, Alexis is ready. She's like, let's do it.
100%. I did the exact same math. I said, because I was actually in therapy and paying cash at the time. So I did the exact same math. But I'm going to tell you what Brenda told me, and I'm pretty sure she probably still has this recording. Because one of my things I would do, especially when I get anxious, is shop. And I don't remember her words verbatim, but she basically just said, "You're already spending the money." And when she said it, it was just like, "You're right. I really do." Like if I go look at my budget, we were one income household at the time, and if I went and looked at my budget, I really was already spending the money somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So it just meant to just budget just a bit better. Mm-hmm. And so that was the thing for me. Her just blanket, you're already doing it. So what do you mean you don't have it? You are already spending it. And I was like, a little bit at first it was like, but then she's right. I really am. So why not spend it on something that's actually gonna benefit me? So yeah.
And was that shopping for? I mean, I call it shop therapy. Like,
yeah.
I love that you're like, yeah. So I call it shop therapy. But was that shop therapy filling your needs, or you know, bringing into your life what you were looking for more, or you know, more
just
than
for the moment? I mean, obviously you feel that high for the moment,
sure.
But then it's really funny. Marina's on now. She invited me to watch her live. Okay, so but for the moment it was great. And then afterwards, guess what I had to do to feel the high again? You gotta go shop again. So I was literally like, oh shoot, we need this. I'm gonna order on Amazon. Oh shoot, we need this. Let me do a grocery delivery. Like I was literally doing that and not even paying attention until she made that comment. I literally left that call and went and rethought my whole life. Like, I am just spending money to
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're spending money to feel good in a completely different way.
Yes,
And
it's worth
how
it.
much more does this fulfill you?
It's actual tools that work in the moment when I need them to work. It's not just a 2-second high and then I got to go find my next high. This is tools that are working in the moment to actually create lasting change, like real shifts. Like the tree you talked about, mine is sitting right there on my wall.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still there. Yeah.
Yep. I know exactly where my tree is. I see it every single day and I read it every
Yep.
single day. Mhm. Kelly, you were ready to say something about the financial component.
It was funny because when I talked with Angelica, at the moment, once again, I was like, okay, I can do this. It's for me. I paid for my college. I went to college later in life. So I thought, I'm worth it. It is just me. I don't, fortunately, I don't have little children at home and, starting a new life. So I'm like, I can do this. But then once again, my remorse set in. And I was like, what the hell did you do?
Right.
I'm like, oh my God.
Who else had that feeling like after saying yes, like, oh crap, what did I just do? Oh my gosh, maybe I should call her and say no. Maybe I should, how do I get my money back? Like, right. All of us, every single one of us, having this conversation had those feelings. And then you start the work, right?
Yeah. And it's because what it is your ego giving you all these, like, oh, you can't afford it. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't, and so finally it was like, just, like, all right, shut the hell up, ego. we're just going to roll with this and we're going to go. And it's going to work out because, meditating, manifesting, it's going to work out. And so far it's been good. And I, knock on wood that I'm at an advantage that I can afford this. So, it'll work out. That's all I know.
It's just gonna work out. And there's ways to create that, financial freedom in order to say yes. Look at Alexis shifting from shop therapy and looking at all the money she was spending on shop therapy and saying like, wait, I could totally use that for fear to freedom and say yes to myself and give myself this gift. So yes, there's definitely ways to look at what we're doing in order for us to gain so much more from fear to freedom. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming. I loved this conversation that we had tonight. I want to wrap up with two things, and everybody can answer. I really want to wrap up with, what do you see as possibilities for you moving forward, since you've been putting the work in for fear to freedom? And the other one, my other question that I want to wrap up with is there a tool that you have that is like your go-to tool at the moment? And like, yeah, I'm gonna that's it. That's what I'm gonna ask. Like, what's possible for you now, doing the work with Fear to Freedom, and what's your go-to tool that you're using? Isabel, I'm gonna start with you.
I've just, so many tools came up for me when I'm doing it backwards, but
that's okay. It's whatever way needs to happen will happen.
Just knowing that there are so many feeling the emotions in your body and knowing where they are, where they're trapped, and trying to loosen them, getting unstuck, and doing breath work has been very helpful. Obviously, doing Reiki on ourselves and becoming a Reiki master has been the most powerful thing that I've been able to do for myself and for others. But being a person who is a caregiver, constantly giving back to myself has replenished me so that I can help other people. But what was the first question?
What's possible for you now that you are going through Fear to Freedom? You're doing the work, you're saying yes to yourself, you're releasing resistances. What's possible? What do you see for yourself?
Well, a lot of the fear that's been released. I'm somebody who loves to write and I journal all of the time. Now I'm finding that I can I said, I heard, I'm writing a book, and everybody always says that. That's a running joke. But no, it's not a joke anymore, because I'm seeing that there are those possibilities. And I heard in one of my meditations, I heard, why can't you just do it one chapter at a time? Why can't you just write an essay and string a bunch of essays together? I see people all over doing things in our group that they were not really feeling they were qualified to do. But I think that we're called, and that's when we become qualified to do these things. And that's the most important thing that I have seen.
Thank you. Yes. And thank you for being here. And I couldn't agree more with your words. And I am going to definitely be in line for a book signing one day. And I will be running alongside you, cheering you on. And I definitely want that autograph for sure, because you're going to be going places. Thank you so much. Christine, talk to me. Tell me, what tool are you using and what are your possibilities now?
I love that I am meditating on a daily basis and that it's incorporated into like my daily routine. And I've always, I don't know how many times I've like had a mentor be like, meditate every day, journal what you like, and I just never did it. And this has given me the permission to give myself to take that time to meditate when I wake up every day. And it really frees me for the entire day. And I for like the possibilities of my future, like I used to tell myself, you're gonna be sad for all your life.
Hmm.
And that's what I thought. I thought you're born sad, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna die sad. Nope. That's over. That's in the garbage. I threw it out. That's like last week's news. Um, the
That's
possibilities that
last
I
year's
get to
news.
be,
Last
yeah,
year's
that's
news.
last year's news. I get to be happy. And I don't, and I get to be excited about being happy. And I get to be free about being happy. And I get to be happy because I get to love life. That's the
Yes,
possibility. That was the thing. And now I know it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
you're doing it. You
And
are.
it's to up. It's just like to the sky now. It's I don't have a limit.
Oh my God, my cheeks are hurting because you guys are just making me smile the entire time. I cannot wipe the smile off my face. Probably one of my most favorite conversations that I've had in a really long time. Kelly, talk to me. Tell me about your tools. Wait, I'm sorry, Christine, did you give us your tool? Oh, the meditation. Yes.
Yeah, meditation every day now.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelly, yes, tell everyone what your tool is, what your possibilities are. What does that look like all for you?
The tool that, for me, just dealing with past trauma and different issues that have come along in my life. I use the cord cutting a lot. Whether it's past, present, that has been great to release, which has been really good for me, because that was probably one of the areas I was really stuck in, of not being able to let things go, or, I guess energetically still connected to some of them. So that gave me a huge opportunity to look at it different. And, you can let them go and still be, I love you, I'll send you on your way, but you know what, you're not good for my space at this time. And that was really refreshing for me. It changed, it literally was a aha moment in my life, that, I could let people go, forgive them, forgive myself for things, that, everybody has done things in their life that they're, not exactly, joyful about, or happy about, and, guilt and shame and all that good stuff. So it was really nice to be able to let go a lot of that.
Yeah.
So at this point, going forward, I am enjoying, my life, my singleness, who I am, discovering who I am. has meant a lot. And, I just look forward to what is going to be coming in my new adventure, my new chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. And you even said earlier, earlier in our conversation that, this new job coming for you and this move across the country again may not have happened without fear to freedom and without, right. Yeah. And so that possibility, I mean, wow, what, that's just a whole new chapter and a whole new window and a whole everything that you created for yourself by saying yes to you, by showing up authentically, by doing the work. Look at what you've already gained. It's tremendous. It really is. I can't thank you enough for staying and recommitting and really reaching out and going within and playing full out. Yeah. Thank you. Alexis, what's your tool and what are your possibilities?
My two tools, I have two. Asking empowering questions. That's number one. Like, that was such a game changer for me, to recognize I was asking the why me and whatever. So that's the answer I was getting. But when I shifted how I asked questions, that did it. And also retelling.
Well, and I just want to say, because it takes you out of the victim role,
Yes.
right? Like, why
Yes.
me?
Yep.
Puts us in a victim role, into when we ask empowering questions, it's finding the power within us. Yeah.
Yep.
And standing in that power and knowing that we have all the answers within us and we are not victims, right?
That's it. Yeah. Because I didn't think I had them. I thought you had them, or you had them, or somebody else had them. I didn't know I had them.
You have them. I don't have them.
So, but I realized it was just I was asking the wrong question, because based off the question you ask, that's the answer you're going to get. So that's the bigger thing. And then retelling my story. Do that all the time, because I'm noticing the rules now. I did not know I lived by so many rules. I promise you I did. But now I'm beginning to recognize it. But as far as possibilities, they're now endless. Like, I literally just yesterday submitted my journal for publication, a journal I've been working on since 2021.
That's amazing.
I just did it yesterday. And then I also got my bachelor's in metaphysical science as of a couple weeks ago. I've been doing that for a couple years, but I never held myself accountable to get it done. So I now see how I can hold myself accountable. I now see how I could commit. And I used to always have a running joke that I didn't like commitment. Even with my husband, I said, look, we can always get divorced. I don't like commitment, right? And it was a joke, but I actually recognized it wasn't a joke. It was truthful. And Fear to Freedom helped me understand that I get to commit to myself. And that's actually a good thing. Oh, and I use the word get all the time. What I get to. I don't have to. I get to.
You get to. You don't have to.
So, yeah, I don't have to. I get to. And I just think that's the bigger thing. I get to commit to myself, and I get to trust myself again.
Oh, God. Yeah. Woo, girl, you're bringing tears to my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my tool out there. Actually, I also have two tools. And you lovely ladies know that I absolutely love some heart-centered breathing. Let's go ahead and take a minute, finishing our call, place our hands on our hearts. Breathe in and out. Breathe in again and out. And one last time, breathe in all the joy, all the possibilities, all the laughter from this call, and carry it with us for the next day, week, month. Go ahead and breathe in and out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Wow. Right? I don't know. That always just brings me like Woosah.
Yeah.
And my other tool is, again, I can't say this enough. I really knew nothing when I started working with Brenda and when I said yes to Fear to Freedom. Reiki, what? Cord cutting, what? I literally thought I had to cut a cord. I did not know that there were energetic cords. And I love cord cutting. We actually did it prior to even getting on the call together. But I also never thought that I would be sitting in a position as a coach and as a healer. It was not even a moment's thought in my mind. And one of the tools that I absolutely love the most is really doing our Reiki sessions with you ladies. It fills me in a way that I never expected. I never thought I would be a Reiki master. Sending energetic healing. It was not on my radar. And and receiving and giving messages that I know connect with you. It was I leave every call dumbfounded, and yet I also leave every call fulfilled and joy and peace and calm and like I can walk through this day and tomorrow and the next day. And that's all from Brenda. I mean, because we all become Reiki masters by working with Brenda. And so using Reiki on my family, just like Isabel had said, and friends, like that was an unexpected part of this journey with her. And it is definitely a tool that I use nearly every single day in some form or fashion. And so, yeah, my possibilities are endless. I continue seeing myself as a coach and as a healer, and that is energetically in many different ways. And new gifts I know are on the horizon for me. And so, yeah, this is who I was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. During the pandemic is not who I am now. And I like this version of me. And everyone else seems to as well. Because I too, Christine, have been given, affirmative, words from my family and from friends, who recognize the change and changes and, recognize the journey and the work that I'm putting in for myself. And I know that that is happening for each and every one of you. I see it for each and every one of you. I really want to take this time one last time and say thank you. You ladies are superstar rock stars. This conversation could not have brought any more joy and laughter into today. And we all hope that you find joy and laughter in our conversation as well. And we look forward to you joining the sisterhood, right? Like, come join the sisterhood. Say yes to you, say yes to, even the cat says yes.
Awesome, amazing. These women did this as a volunteer. Like I said, they just shared authentically from their hearts their experience here, what has worked for them, what resistance has showed up, how they moved through resistance, how being part of the sisterhood has truly helped them, how Free to Freedom is creating possibilities, jobs, completion, accountability. And so this is your opportunity to move through your resistance and allow yourself the gift of giving this to yourself. So go book your callwithangelica.com. We have limited spots left. In fact, there was a few people that went and booked while we were talking, so I'm not even sure how many are left. So you want to go ahead and grab your call, your free call, to see if Fear to Freedom is for you. I would love to hear from you. What landed for you? What resonated with you? What did you hear that you could relate to? Because all these women were in similar seats with you within a few months for some, a couple of years for others, but they all started out curious, wanting more for their lives, wanting to change their lives around, and they had resistance, and they were scared to move forward, and they were wanting to do something better for themselves, and they had to go through all the different thoughts in their mind, and they had to step outside the box to make their decision. So you get to step outside the box, make your decision, move forward in your life. The opportunity to join Fear to Freedom is coming to a close. We're only 2 days away, so you want to make sure that you get your spot, you get your seat, and you take action. Action plus knowledge equals transformation. You've experienced the action here. You've experienced knowledge here. You've experienced transformation here. Now here's your next step. Go to callwithangelica.com, book your call, be one of my panelists a year from now, 6 months from now, sharing your story of transformation. I want to thank Christine, Kelly, Alexis, Isabel, and Charlotte for sharing your time, for sharing your heart, for sharing your authenticity, for being a leader, for stepping up, for letting your voice be heard, for allowing you to be witnessed, to impact somebody else's life. I am truly grateful for the work that you do through Fear to Freedom, for the woman that you are, for the woman that you are becoming. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Go book your call. Callwithangelica.com. I love you, and I have a special Q&A session for you tomorrow. Bye.